The wait is over. After months of training, anticipation, and build-up, we have finally reached here, the Sludge Bowl, hosted by the Slime Balls. It is my honor to welcome you to the Team Quadrilla Marble League Season 2 Qualifiers. 24 teams battling for 12 positions in the main tournament to join the Deep Divers, Blue Lotus, Green Lotus, and of course our hosts, the Slime Balls. Those that didn't make it to the qualifiers, the Icicles, Pumpkin Patch, Team Nectar, and the Hazelnuts. They did not make it out of the B division in Season 1, but the 24 teams that did are going to be sorted into 3 groups of 8 teams, where after the 4 qualifying events, the top 4 qualify. The first event of the qualifiers, balancing. If you're unfamiliar with the format, for each marble that drops off in the first 9 rows, that is 1 to 9 points respectively, then it's 12, 15, and if you make it to the end, that's a maximum 20 points. I'm going to start off with Group A, and what better to start off but with the Shadow Riders, Gloom, the champion of the individual league, in the blocks and ready to go. The Shadow Riders 4th in Season 1, silver medalists in balancing. Looking good to qualify. Favorites, how will they start off? With 2 finishers they will. Contour and Umbra, the middle 2 marbles, getting it done. Separation initially from the first 2 and last 2 marbles, but they come together at the end. And the Shadow Riders, what a way to start the qualifiers here in Group A. Not a great showing from Silhouette or Gloom, but it gets the job done. The marbles there in the end, triumphant, knowing that they have made a mark on the qualifiers in the very first run of the event. 52, that is just 8 points off the record held by the Aquamarines. But now in run 2 of 8, Golden Cheeses. They got 7th in Season 1, looking to qualify again in Season 2. Golden Cheeses led by Cheddar. How will they do in balancing? A bit of a bump from the 2nd and 3rd marbles. No finishers, but a very consistent run all throughout. This is going to be a good points haul for them. Probably not going to beat the Shadow Riders. There's where Cheddar fell off. And it looks like 15 points for both Mozzarella and Emmental. But it looks like that's going to be all that is. 47 for the Golden Cheeses. Just 5 points off the Shadow Riders. Very respectable effort from them. Majestic Melons with their new captain Honeydew. They won qualifiers balancing last season. Have a lot to live up to in the first runs. How will they do here? Fairly decent. All of them are still on, and they're going to get 2-3 finishers. What a job by the Majestic Melons to demolish the record. 3 finishers, and their 3rd marble, Muskmelon, gets a 15. That is 75 points, demolishing the record set by the Aquamarines last season. Having to live up to the first 2 runs, they did it beautifully. And Honeydew, what a way to make a statement in their first event as captain. The Quadrilla Marble League record goes to the Majestic Melons. They're looking to qualify and make a statement here. The Heliospheres now, after seeing a fantastic run, they have a lot to live up to. Getting 16th in Season 1. Looking to keep their qualifying streak. Well, they've qualified once. Trying to qualify again. No finishers, but a fairly decent run all throughout. Their captain falls off in the mid part of the beam. Solar will get a 15. The other 2, though, didn't get too far down the beam, didn't get to the narrow section, so that seems like it'll only be 4th out of 4 runs. 39, a respectable score, but the competition has been very stiff thus far. That concludes the teams in this group that qualified for the first season. Mountain climbers, silver medalists in the balancing event, and 2nd place in the B division as a whole. Fairly decent run. Mountain, their captain, will get a 15, but the other marbles, not as good as some of the previous runs we've seen. Formation's decent, but the marbles cannot keep it clean in the later part of the beam, and that costs the mountain climbers. They will only get 5th, that is last thus far in their group. Mountain 15, no finishers. The mountain climbers, looks like it's going to be an uphill journey for them from here on out. The Celestial, 6th place in the B division, looking to qualify for the first time this season. How will they do in balancing? fairly speedy exit down from the starting gate. They will get a 15 from Centauri, their third marble. Bit of disjointed run though, some collisions from the first three. Not what they hoped for, because it caused their run to get a little out of sorts. So the Celestials will only get 6th out of 6 runs. Supernova only can muster a 6. Cosmos just a 5. Centauri gets a 15, but they are currently in last. The Amber Animals, 8th out of the B division last year, trying to qualify also for the first time, and a decent entry. Bit of a swing from side to side, but Weaver, their third marble, will also get a 15, like Centauri did, and the other marbles making it fairly much down the beam. That is going to be a good points haul for them. The Amber Animals may not be able to contest with the first 3 runs, but they will be an exact tie for 4th place with the Heliospheres. That is decent for them. They are the first team that didn't qualify that are looking good, looking to be in the qualification zone. Not if the Poison Ivy have anything to say about it though. The Poison Ivy, bronze medalist in B division balancing, but it's not going to be very good for them here. Their second and third marbles shadowing each other, that is Venom and Potion, following each other, but they both fell in the 6 to 7 zone, as did Elixir, their trailing marble. Their captain, Poison, could only get a 9, so no one got to the narrow part of the beam. That reflects in their position 8th out of 8 runs, 10th in the B division, and it's not going to be very good in the first event for them. But a tiebreaker for 4th between the Heliospheres and the Amber Animals will be underway, with just the captain, Helios, going as just a 6. Nearly got into the 7, but they couldn't do it. Amber Animals with Parrot, their captain, need to get a 7 or above to secure 4th place in the event. Will Parrot do? Fairly decent run, and it will be a 7 exactly. So the Amber Animals will get 4th, Heliospheres 5th, and without a doubt the Majestic Melons asserting their dominance in the group, stamping their authority. They will get the win in Group A in this event, followed by the Shadow Riders, Golden Cheeses, and the Amber Animals. But only 3 of the 4 teams that qualified in the qualification zone. Clearly see the skill difference there as we head on to Group B with the Red Lotus starting us off. The Red Lotus, the most points out of any team in the Season 1 qualifiers, and 6th place in Season 1, looking to make a mark here in Season 2, with 2 of their rival Lotus teams already auto-qualified. But it's not going to go well for them here at all. 1 marble falling off instantly, that is Hibiscus, their second marble. They're only going to get 2, and the other marbles couldn't keep it clean at all. This is a disaster for the Red Lotus. The Red Lotus, part of the Lotus teams. The Lotus team is very strong, but only a 21. That is worse than all Group A teams. Very shocking performance there from them. Team Atlantic, can they follow up with something better? Fairly easy target for them to overtake the Red Lotus, but how will they do with Dolphin at the helm? A speedy exit onto the beam, and that will certainly be better, but also a mediocre run compared to what we've seen in Group A. Look at this. One of the marbles, Sea Turtle, getting shoved aside by their third marble. Formation could do with some work, but they do get way further down the course than the Red Lotus, and they get a 27. That is also not as good as all Group A teams. The Poison Ivy, who got last in Group A, would have beaten that. So the Group B, could there be a group of death in Group A, with runs being much better than in Group B? Or a Group B just really tame? And Deserters, really, that was not good at all. That is terrible out of the gate for all marbles. The Red Lotus sweating bullets that they would get last, but it looks like the Deserters will take it from them. That is one of the worst balancing performances we've ever seen. That is just going to be a 15 for the Deserters. They won their group in balancing in last season. It's pretty much the opposite for them in this season, unless somehow someone manages to do something worse. But now the Floundering Fish, 15th in Season 1. Trying to improve on that in Season 2. And they're certainly going to improve on the previous teams in this group. It looks like that is going to be good enough for the lead in this group. Their captain and their third marbles, it seems, or second marble, fell off in the mid part. But one of their marbles draws it out very well and will get a 12. That is Goldfish, their third marble, and the Floundering Fish have taken the lead. Halfway done with this group. The Venomous Vipers now, third place in the B division, won the off-season quadrilla race with their captain Viper trying to qualify here for the first time. Fairly disjointed run though, with a collision. They do get quite far down the beam but fall off prior to the narrow section. That's not going to be what the Venomous Vipers wanted. Their captain Viper couldn't do much. Marbles from the near side went further down the beam slightly. That is Anaconda and Cobra, but they only get third in a fairly low-scoring group thus far. Group A consistently beating Group B. So now the Treat Fleet though, the Treat Fleet has the second best balancing run of all time with a 59. One balancing in the B division and is easily going to take the lead here. The Treat Fleet obviously know what they're doing in this event, and they have a good performance. Their captain Butterscotch will only get a 3, but the other 3 marbles go well down the beam, all of them making it to the narrow section, one of them getting a 15. The Treat Fleet will take the lead in the event, 38. That is at least respectable. That would have got the mid-pack in Group A. Now the Sinister Sprinters. They got 7th in the B division, trying to get a better position here. The Sprinters. What will they do in balancing? They'll get a speedy exit from the gate, and one of them will get a full 20. That is the first we've seen in Group B. So it looks like they might challenge for the lead. Oh, look at this. Their captain, Demon, making room for Ghoul to sprint past them. They recorrect. There's going to be good teamwork from the Sinister Sprinters. They've taken the lead, 43 points. Good showing for them, trying to qualify. Now, they just have one team to hold off before they can get the full 8 points and the win in Group B. The Olive Orbs, 11th in the B division. What can they do to try to qualify in balancing? They will get a good run here. It's not going to challenge the Sinister Sprinters, it seems like. All of them making it pretty far down the course. The Olive Orbs looking good compared to some of the other teams in Group B. But none of them got any more than a 9. So it seems like, yes it will be, the Sinister Sprinters will win Group B. Olive Orbs do good enough to get a top half finish. Good for a team that didn't qualify and finished in the bottom half of the B division. The Sprinters, Treat Fleet, Floundering Fish make the top half. Red Lotus and Deserters bottom 2. That is very surprising for those two teams. They both topped their groups in Season 1 qualifiers, but are bringing up the rear here. But now in the final group, Aquamarines to start us off. The record holders, previous record holders. What can they do to get their record back from the Majestic Melons? They need a pretty much perfect run to do it. A lot of hype coming from them. The Season 1 hosts in 5th place in Season 1, but it's not going to go well for them here. Aquamarines, disappointment in balancing for the first time ever. Look at this, a collision from Opal sends their captain off the course very early, and the rest of them only mediocre finishes, and that's only going to be a 22 for them. Not what they expected, not what they hoped for, certainly. The Bacon Brawlers will try to beat that. Not a hard target to beat, just 22. The Bacon Brawlers, 8th in Season 1, trying to qualify again. Oh, the captain going very speedily off the course, not good from them, but the rest of them easily will improve on the Aquamarines total. That is Ham, Carnitas, and Rasher getting well down the course. Ham will get a 12 points scoring total, and the Bacon Brawlers get a 30. That is easily better than the Aquamarines, but still, you can see that these runs are not as good as the ones we've seen in Group A. So Group A, a lot of performances much better than Group B and C. Unless the Bobble Squad have anything to say about it. Bobble Squad last place in balancing in Season 1, 10th overall in Season 1. 3 of them drop off at pretty much the same place. Their 4th marble, though, will not. They will get slightly worse. 3 marbles all dropping off seemingly in between 6 and 7. And that's going to be a decent points haul for them, but only second. 26, actually, so certainly room for improvement for the Bobble Squad. Improvement from them from Season 1 balancing. But now, the Valley Dashers run 4 of 8. They got 13th in Season 1. Trying to improve that here, but they have to qualify first. But all of them making it down the beam, and Valley will get a 20. So the Valley Dashers looks like they're going to take the lead in this group. Their captain getting a full 20. The last group, we only had 120, and it was from the Sinister Sprinters who won the group, so the Valley Dashers must be pretty happy about that. They looking to improve their run from Season 1. There is Valley in the 20 zone. The rest of them also pretty decent points hauls. Certainly will allow them to get the lead in the group, 42. That's just one off the Sprinters total 43 in Group B. But now the Yellow Lotus, easily winners of the B division, trying to make up for it by qualifying here, and that's going to be a good run from them, the Yellow Lotus, showing that they deserve to qualify. They should be in the main tournament. That last season, the qualifiers was a fluke, and all of them making it well down the course. One of them will get a 12, and it seems like the Yellow Lotus will get a 33. That's behind the Valley Dashers. They didn't get a 20, so it figures, but the Yellow Lotus, good showing here in the qualifiers, trying to qualify. The Efficient Eggs now, 5th in the B division, also trying to qualify for the first time. They had the highest number of points out of any team that didn't qualify in the qualifiers, and they are going to get a decent run in balancing. Fairly average set of runs throughout all teams in this group, but it seems like the Efficient Eggs, that is going to be very middle of the road. All of them falling off right before the narrow section. And the Eggs will get 3rd out of 6 runs. That's pretty good for them, but will want to hold at least a top half finish with a 31. The Nickel Knights, they got 9th in Season 1 B division. Had a terrible time in qualifiers, hoping to make up for that here. One of them goes streaking off the course, but the other 3 make it well down it. And the Nickel Knights, seems like they're going to do decent. How does it stack up to, say, the Efficient Eggs or the Bacon Brawlers? One of them will get a 12, another one will get 9, and that's going to be a decent run for the Nickel Knights. 3rd place, 31 as well, but since they had a 12, they beat the Efficient Eggs, and they were guaranteed a top half finish even if the Rock Pools beat them. But the Rock Pools, 12th place, the final team in the B division to qualify for the qualifiers. What can they do with this opportunity to try to qualify for the main tournament? It's not looking like it's going to go very well. The Rock Pools, immediately their captain streaking off the course, and the best they can do is probably a 7 or an 8 from one of their middle marbles. So it seems like they're going to be at the bottom of this group, if not close to it. The Rock Pools will get, it seems like 8th, yes. Just a 20. A lot of room for improvement for them. Not the worst score we've seen today, but the worst of Group C. Valley Dashers top the group. Yellow Lotus in 2nd, Nickel Knights and Efficient Eggs. So 2nd to 4th in Group C. All teams that didn't qualify for Season 1. Some surprises, certainly. But congratulations to the Majestic Melons, Sinister Sprinters, and the Valley Dashers for topping their groups as we head into the Quadrilla race, the 2nd qualifying event.